skating is tough. Maybe it gets easier at some point than it was before, but it never gets easier.
Again.
Hi everybody, if you remember, we have gathered some questions from around the Facebook groups about what it's like to be an Olympic skater. So today we're going to talk with one of our coaches about what it's actually like and what it takes to be there.
Hello, my name is Dmitry Dun, and I'm ice dancer from Ukraine, and I was skating and competing for Ukraine at Sochi Olympics. I did start skating when I was 4, and I started to do ice dancing when I was 9. So like when I was in Olympics, I was 24 years old, I believe.
We're only a few years behind.
So it took me 15 years to get from basics of ice dancing and all the way to the top.
To the Olympics.
Let's talk about when you were actually preparing for the Olympics. First of all, how did you end up there? Like, how did you make I'm gonna go to the Olympics?
How did you decide?
How did that whole thing happen?
So the selection to go into Olympics, it's a little bit complicated. So your country has to get let's call it visa, so entry to Olympics, and it all decides on a world championship 1 year before Olympics.
The placements,
ratings. So you can get, I think, from no spots at all, up to 3.
For some reason, I thought everybody would get a spot. Every country would get at least a spot in Olympics.
No.
Interesting.
No. You have to go qualify there, and then there is, I think, four tickets left, and the competitions end of August or September in Germany, and then who didn't get a spot, so these top 4 places, they will get
still have a spot.
1 entry. We knew that we got a spot for our country, but we didn't know that I'm gonna go there. And I would say in my situation, I didn't know that we're gonna go there up until few weeks before Olympics started.
Wow.
Hey.
My partner, she was American before, so we did skate for Ukraine, but to be able to skate in Olympics, you both have to be citizens of the country that you skate for. And I know that there was a process of getting citizenship, but it was so long and there were so many pushbacks, so we were not sure if it's gonna happen or not.
Did you feel more excited or more nervous?
It's just being pissed.
It's like you were done by the time.
Because every day or every week something changes, and they say no, you're not gonna get, and then there's a lot of people that want you to go there, but there's a lot of people that don't want you to go. The president had to sign the paper that she will become citizen.
How did you choose your partners? Would you choose it? Would the coach choose for you? How does that work?
I think it's everybody makes decisions. So it's not only one person. It's not if coach likes how you look together and
then
how you work. But then if I don't like this, how I'm doing with my partner, it's not gonna work.
But usually would you know that person already before, from seeing skating somewhere, or someone would say, hey, this is Faye, she's an ice dancer?
Well, you never know. Why I moved to Canada first. When I went there, I think I had 2 or 3 people lined up. I started to skate there with one, and then I started to skate with another one. It's
have an audition.
That's what I was gonna say.
A few days, so week, and then I picked one that
you connected better.
Best match, but then it still didn't work out. So
later, It's funny because we saw this series, Zero Chill. It's a new series, and this girl had an audition. He had a guy audition to be her partner, and I found out that it was super interesting. But I didn't know if it was like that, or.
It is the same.
It's in the movies. Only usually it's the girls who get auditions. Life is tough for females.
So, in my 15 years, I had 4 ice dance partners, and my first one, we were good, but she was older than me 2 years. And we did skate, I think, 2 years together. We did good enough for that age. But then our coaches approached my parents and talked that, like in ice dance, I think back then and even now, junior age, it's when girl reaches 19 years old and boy 21. So if somebody is over that age, I think it was like on July 1st, then you have to move up. So, but it would mean that when my partner would reach 19, I would be 17. So I had to move to senior level.
So you would have to compete against the 21s and up.
Yeah, but when I still had 4 years of like this buffer to skate in juniors. So that's why we split up, and but my coaches already found another partner. They had already another one in mind.
No time to waste.
They already had another partner in mind, and it was like end of the season. It was like last week when we had ice back home. So we had like, I think, 2 hours of skating, and then there was no ice. That's it. So but that's kind of in these 2 hours we decided that we're gonna skate together. And so her name was Alisa Gafonova, and we did skate for 9 years.
It's a long time.
It's
it's
pretty long, and we did good. We did win nationals, like junior nationals, and we did compete at 2 junior worlds, and I think it was 2 junior under 20 finals. I think we did. I can't remember, was it like 9 or 11 junior under 20s? So we did it for like 5 or 6 years.
Was she the longest partner?
Yeah.
Partnership?
Yeah.
Do you know where she is now? Like, do you stay in touch?
So then we split up when, like I think it was 2008, somewhere there. And then she started to skate with a guy from Turkey. When I was in Sochi with my new partner, she was in Sochi there with her partner. So she was
skating.
Awkward? Yeah, no, it's all good. She was skating for Turkey and I was skating for Ukraine. And actually they did skating in another Olympics in South Korea too.
Is it important? Do you feel like it's important to have a good personal relationship with a partner?
Or is it like,
or like
just
if you hate her but she's a great skater, it's still fine?
Well,
it helps.
Everybody is different. Sometimes you don't like your partner, but you still work together and you make it happen. Sometimes people date each other and they're all happy, and sometimes you date and then you break up and then you break up everything.
Yeah.
Like relationships are all nice and opposites. So
yeah,
somebody can mix it, somebody can't.
Let's just circle back to the Olympics real quick. It's like, what are the conditions like? When you get a ticket, is it like all the athletes for your country, they fly together, or they give you like regular economy class flight and you're kind of on your own?
It was just usual economy class, but I think more than half of the plane was athletes. And
is it a party plane?
No, it was actually almost overnight plane. Like even it was like 2 or 3 hours away to fly from Ukraine to Sochi, but I think we left like almost at 1 or 2 a.m. Kiev, and we landed like at 4 or 5 a.m. in Sochi. I'm not sure why it was like this, but it is what it is. How it was in Sochi, Russia, I think they built like new condos that they were going to sell after. So it was like studio apartment. There, like we knew, you could see where should be their kitchen, where there should be an AC, but there was no AC. There was a radiator hanging on top of the wall. You would see the tile, and you will see that they had like hookups for water, for gas, but there was no kitchen installed yet. It was just 2 beds, 2 chairs, small table.
The bathroom
but
work?
It was a huge room, but it was empty because they built it to sell after. A lot of times they build these like villages that they will come up like in 1 month, and then like in a few weeks they will
dismantle.
Yeah.
Did you room with other skaters?
Yeah, I did a room with our solo like freestyle boy. It was totally fine, and like our schedule didn't match a lot of times.
Is it normally by team? Like all the Ukrainian skaters would be in one room, all the Japanese in the other room?
Yeah, that's how it was. Like we had I think like half of one floor it was all Ukrainian skaters. And I think below us it was all Russian hockey guys.
How is the atmosphere like? Is everybody just super like internal and in the
Focus.
competition mode, or are they like, or is everybody friendly and partying kind of outside of?
No, there is no parties, there is no alcohol in Sochi, and it was pretty long time we were there because in Sochi we had team event and individual event. So, and between team event and individual it was about 7 or 8 days. So you have to
So you
train
still like
there,
to-
but there is not enough like ice time. So you do skate like maybe hour and a half a day,
Wow.
and that's it. So like for whole week. So this was competitions that almost 2 weeks long.
Yeah. Wow.
And that wasn't easy part about it because
Okay.
like usually when you're competing, you know, like you'll build yourself up and then after competition goes drop down to build up again.
Mm.
You couldn't do it there. So like you had to be like up there for
The whole time.
It's like a marathon.
Could you run your program?
yeah. But only once.
Yeah.
You have only like one time
Yeah.
slot, like you have only one time to play music and that's it.
You said you only had ice for an hour per day. What would you do the rest of the time?
Rest.
Rest.
Just
Eat.
chill.
Eat. I watched some hockey games. I went some to watch speed skaters.
Did you work
We
out?
went, yeah, like we do work out, but there is a gym. Like it's different. Food is different.
Mm.
Not what you're used to.
Food is all without any flavor. It was all bland. They had a bunch of spices you could add yourself, but I think because of every country different food
But did they
tastes.
have like
and-
a healthy food, or was it
No,
more like sometimes like pizza?
No, there was like some Asian sections, there was Italian section,
Okay.
there was just proteins and veggies, and we had McDonald's 24 hours in our food court.
It's always there, McDonald's.
McDonald's, it was good night food for sure.
Like the
Because
best
like
meal.
you guys in board from the same food.
Yeah, of
There,
course.
so there is McDonald's fries. You know?
It's like how many
Or,
times can you
one
eat
Big
chicken
Mac.
breast?
What was the like diet generally like when you're in like active training? Did you pay a lot of attention to your nutrition, or is it just normal life?
Well, you try not to eat so much fast food, but when I did skate, there was no diet for me because like we were on ice for like 4 or 5 hours and doing off ice. So like you do train 7 8
You
hours.
train a lot, so you can.
7 8
get
hours
away.
a day. So you know, like one donut, it will go. Like
You go away next
you
day.
will burn it like in a few hours of skating. So, you know,
McDonald's is cool,
with girls is different, but with boys,
but the girls do diet, right?
well, it's not diet. Like
You're just careful.
They just don't eat.
well, they have to control their weight more than boys.
Uh-huh.
Like I kind of like I did gain weight after Olympics, yes, but when I was training, I was like 179, 182. I was skinny, tall and skinny.
Do you rely more on the guys getting stronger or the
Girls getting lighter.
Getting lighter, exactly.
Well, I think it should be both.
The combination.
Like girls should be strong too, because
Yeah, of course.
even boys do lift girls, but there is still girls have to hold themselves.
Yeah.
Do you feel like socially there's more pressure on female skaters in the partnered environment, like in pairs or in dance, to kind of be in better shape, or is it fairly equal?
I don't know if there is difference. Like if coach would see that like I'm gaining weight, like I would get pressurized too. If I'm coach, you know, like Dmitry, you have to lose weight.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, it's fine.
Like, okay, no more McDonald's.
Usually boys,
Cut on the price.
usually boys taking it way easier than girls about weight, but
Yeah.
When you go to international competitions, how do you feel the atmosphere? Is there like a camaraderie between athletes and they all friendly, or is it like super competitive and everybody's like sabotaging each other and
Like
all stuff we see in the
I'm gonna
movies?
cut your lace.
you never know. Like it never happened to me. Like I think everybody heard horror stories, and sometimes it does happen to somebody. I don't know. It never happened to me. I never did anything bad to anybody else.
But in general, were people like friendly, or were
Yeah.
more
Or
everybody
more on guard.
competitive to their own?
It's like you will be friendly before competitions, and competition starts, everybody kind of like try not to stay a little bit away from each other, and then after competitions everybody is best friends forever.
Yeah.
But usually it's friendly and like a lot of times like we are friends after competitions, even like I'm not competing for 7 years now. But we still catch up, and like sometimes you will see them in some other competitions here in States.
How, like, what was it? Do you have some kind of, I don't know, not tradition, but like some kind of routine to deal, like a ritual to deal with your nerves? Because like Olympics is gonna be nerve-wracking, and even before that, it was like, I would imagine like nationals, worlds, whatever other competitions you did. Like, how do you handle this?
Whether like
you don't.
You just freak out.
Some people, I don't know, they like
just forget and just keep going. Everybody is different, and before Olympics, like we had me and my partner, we had person to talk with if we are like had experienced some struggle between us, or also
like a psychologist.
Yeah, psychologist, like specialist, and like we went together before Olympics, and she was there for us if we needed to speak. When we were in Sochi.
It's like couples therapy.
Well, sometimes you just have to go and talk to coach, you know, one or call your mom.
Yeah.
Just let it out.
Sometimes mom would put you back on the spot, you know, and you're fine to go.
Dmitry, you're at the Olympics.
Get your shit together.
You always try your best there, you know, and sometimes it does work out well for you, sometimes it doesn't.
Would you guys get mad when you mess up or something? Like, would you
No,
get
you
like...
get upset for sure, but when you're just doing some competitions, okay, you know, it didn't work out, but it's not your nationals, it's not your worlds, and you're going, okay, I will try to better next competition in worlds. When it's in Olympics, you know, that's it. You messed up.
Yeah.
You can wait another 4 years.
If you go at like big competition, like national World Olympics, and you know that you skated your part like perfectly, but you saw her mess up. Like, do you get angry, or the other way around? If you saw her skate perfectly, but you messed up, like, how do you feel? Do you get angry at yourself? Do you get angry at your partner?
Sure you get angry at yourself, but you do mess up. Yeah. Everybody mess up, and I feel like you cannot turn the time back.
Yeah.
It did happen, and when it happens, when you still skate and you're just trying to do everything twice better than you were hoping to do, you know, just trying to get these points back.
How does that work in Ukraine? Like, does the government sponsor your trip to the Olympics, or do you have sponsors?
The federation?
Well, government should pay for your trip to Olympics, yes. And everything else is paid by Olympic Committee. So I think it's just your country should get your ticket.
I mean the flight?
Yeah. To get your flight and everything else, like accommodation in Olympics and food, like is paid by Olympic Committee.
Oh, so the organizing side?
Yeah.
Okay, so whichever country it's at, they pay for everybody.
Exactly. But a lot of like competitions that we did, like international ones, we paid for them like ourselves.
What about the prize money that you won? Do you get to keep it, or do you have to give it back?
Like in Olympics, I didn't play there, so there was no any prize money for us.
But do you know what happens if someone places?
And I don't think that there is prize money from Olympic Committee for winning Olympics.
No.
It's like every country has their own like prize structure. I know that. When we did skates, we had like because like the national team members, we had salary, but the salary is enough like to pay enough to pay like few hours of time with coach.
Yeah.
So it's nothing.
And what do you do? What do you do now, mostly?
Well, after Olympics, I started to teach. Well, before Olympics, I was teaching too, but there was some gaps in my competing and skating career. I was thinking to stop skating when I was, I think, 19. It was back in Canada. So I did start to teach before last Olympic cycle, the Sochi Olympic cycle, and then I changed my mind. There were some calls made and some offers, and I moved from Canada, moved to States. I got a new partner, and I think we skated 3 seasons together.
It's always about the partner.
Well, it is. It is.
Especially
Like she must have been really good.
In ice dancing, you cannot do it by yourself. You need a partner. So partner is a very important part of any competition in ice dancing, and how to succeed and how to become better. Yeah.
Now that you don't actively train to compete, how much do you still skate on a daily basis? Not as like in class, but for your own
As in practice?
self.
Well, because I'm teaching part-time now, I'm not full-time coach, and I'm doing ice shows, so I do skate like besides teaching, like a lot, not a lot, but when I was just teaching, I almost didn't skate by myself
At all.
at all.
Wow.
What was your best moment that you think like, this was my favorite moment? There
You just hated the whole thing.
no, I'm pretty sure there was something like, okay, this
I don't
like
know.
this is it was my best memory or something. Was it going to the Olympics? Was it winning certain competition? Was it landing certain move?
So it's not having to get up at 6 a.m. anymore to train.
You're like, I'm done.
I would never wake up when I was competing and training, wake up at 5 to come on ice like 5:40 and have a lesson. No. When coaching, you wake up like at 3 a.m., 2 a.m. to get to the rink that is like 3 hours away.
You're like, oh my god, how did I get to this point?
Yeah.
Like waking up
But
at
when I
5.
was skating myself, I would never wake up like at 5 a.m. to get on ice at 6. I'm like, no.
Not happening.
8:30, yes.
Pushing it already.
What was like the whole regiment like? So you would skate twice a day, and then do you have off ice on the same days as you skate, or was it like alternating?
When I was in school, high school,
Mm.
like skating in the morning, then coming back after school. I think we had about two days a week we had ballet, and some days we had ballroom dancing. I cannot say that we had a lot of like of ice cardio when I was back home.
Did they make you work out?
Like gym?
Like at that age, or it was too young? Or some strength
Usually
exercises?
in summer it's
Uh-huh.
like big program, strength
Like summer camp.
Yeah. But during the year, I cannot say that we did work out a lot. It was mostly ballet and mostly dancing.
Mm.
Were you always an ice dancer? You never did like free skate?
Till I was 9, I was free skater.
You do doubles, triples? No.
No, I couldn't.
Not even doubles?
I couldn't do anything more than single.
Oh, so I don't
When I
feel as
was
bad
9,
anymore.
When I was 9, I think I just did few attempts of jumping axle, and
That's when you realized the free skate is not for you.
I couldn't even do seat spin. You know, like I would go low enough and I would end up on my butt. There was no camel
It's not
spin.
that bad.
This is very relatable.
There was no camel spin for me. No,
Can you land an axle now?
I think I can do axle now.
What was your like toughest element throughout your career that was like the biggest struggle?
I think for
That
all
you had.
ice dancers, the struggle is tweezels. Like all lifts, you can manage how to do it, and usually you like. I don't think I ever messed up on any lift in competitions, at least. But tweezels, it's I think the hardest element in ice dancing.
Do you feel like when you're performing, before the twizzle, would you think like,
It's
Okay.
always no. Well, it's always you're holding your breath on it. There is no relaxing moment
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you're getting into twizzle. There is only after you get
you only breathe after?
after you finish in twizzle. It's like yes, or like oh. Shit. I remember when like we were training twizzles. It's like the goal is to make 10 sets of twizzles in a row without messing up. If you will mess up, even on your 9th. You start
Do it again.
over from
Start
number
over.
1. Skating is tough.
Alright. Oh, that part we
That's-
already figured out.
We have discovered.
It's just tough on all, like all ways. Always, all kind of like technical is one thing, financial is other thing,
Yeah.
relationships is other thing, relationship with the coach and students is totally other thing. It's complex. Maybe it gets easier at some point than it was before, but it never gets
Never
easier.
again.
Sometimes it happens on practice, yeah, like you just can nail everything one day, but wait till next day, and then
nothing
you're
works.
like,
And nothing works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The last question for you. This is the most important one. Are we your most favorite students ever, or what?
Always.
Well, that was it, guys. Thank you for submitting the questions and hope this was enlightening and entertaining. We will continue to introduce our coaches, so feel free to send us more questions if you have some. See you next week.